Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth for the Week. I'm back here with my wife Dee.
Hi everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about California banning 4 major consumed additives due to health risks. Let's get right into it. Food is one of the most important things for human survival. We must all eat to survive, and we know that. Most people fail to realize that it's also a necessity to eat the food that doesn't destroy us. When we look at the numbers, US has one of the worst weight problems in the world, with almost 70% of people being considered overweight and 40% of those being considered severely obese. In the US, so many people are dealing with health issues tied directly back to being overweight and the food they eat. But why are so many people overweight? Are people just eating too much or have poor eating habits? It's actually much more complicated than that. The reason so many people are overweight is because of the food being fed to us. They make the good food unaffordable and they make the bad food easily affordable. Almost all of our food has been spiked with hazardous additives, artificial coloring, and artificial flavors. Even worse, most foods sold in supermarkets are made with vegetable oils, which is terrible for you. The reason people are overweight is because those who run our world want them to be. The food being created and sold has the sole purpose of destroying us. The food being sold by these mega corporations are created to fix the human lifespan to only live roughly 60 years. In the US, the full retirement age is 66 years old. They are creating food that will assure we develop the health conditions that would eliminate us by the time we are in our 60s, getting rid of us the moment we no longer work for their businesses. The food they create is a part of their system of entrapment and control. They are controlling us through our food just like they are through our media. Recently, California did something that I thought was very unexpected. They banned 4 additives that are linked to cancer and other health effects: potassium bromate, bromated vegetable oil, and red dye number 3. There's one more additive, but I can't even pronounce it, so I'm not gonna try. These additives are found in hundreds of different items, and many people consume these additives on the regular basis and don't even realize it. This is why most people in the US are obese. This is the exact reason. They blindly trust the suppliers of food, and they also blindly listen to whatever they're told. When the FDA states that an additive is safe for consumption in low amounts, people don't realize how much of those additives they consume in a day. These additives that the FDA say are safe in low dosage, people are consuming throughout their entire day. These additives are found in their toothpaste, in their lotion, in their body wash, in their soaps, in their food and breakfast, in their lunches, in their dinners. So by the end of the day, they have surpassed the amount that is recommended without doing harm. This is why so many people in our country are developing these serious health conditions. They don't realize how much of these additives they're consuming a day because it's in everything they eat. And like you saw, these 4 additives were in over hundreds of items, even thousands of items. They gave them into 2027 until this law goes into effect and they have to stop selling the items with these additives in them. But that lets you know right there, for the next few years, people are still going to be consuming these additives, you know?
Yeah, and it's really crazy how many items in the store contain these hazardous additives, and sometimes it contains more than one of these hazardous additives. The potassium bromate specifically is literally in every single bread item that you can go to the store and pick up at this moment. Bread only takes 4 ingredients to make, yet they're making bread that has a good 10 ingredients in there to try to cut corners, but they're literally poisoning us in the process of doing so.
You know, the biggest problem when it comes to this food is the advertisements. There's so many advertisements advertising these foods that are literally created to destroy us. Like, for example, Skittles. Skittles is one of those foods, if I'm not mistaken, that was banned in California. And the reason is because they had these additives that were connected to severe health conditions. And a lot of people are influenced to consume Skittles because of these commercials that are always showing Skittles in a certain way. They know what they're doing when they're creating these commercials. They're using keywords. They're using the science to get people to want to consume their product. And they know that this product is destroying them. But the same people that are invested in these food products are the same people that are invested in Hollywood. This is how the system works. They eat from everything. They're making money from it all. And they're controlling us using everything that they create, including the food. They have other options, but they've made these other options super expensive to the point where you can barely afford them. They want to make sure people are eating the food that they create. So they price it at a lower price because they know that most people are always going to choose the cheaper option. Half the time, it doesn't cost more to make the organic option at all. They just make it more expensive to make sure people go for the cheaper option. This is literally how you decrease a population as well. Most people are going to eat these foods created to destroy them. They're only going to live until they're 60. By the time they no longer work, by the time they no longer clocking into these businesses that are owned by these elite, they're out of here. They're gone because of the food that they ate their entire lives that gave them all these health conditions. And this is the reason why we're having such a health problem now in the US. Now, looking at California, I find this interesting because we know most of the elite live in California. Their children live in California, their grandkids, family members. I think that this is a biased situation because why isn't this law being passed all over the US? Why only in California? They live there, so they're trying to get the poison out of where they live. It's probably affecting their family members as well because, kids, they see these commercials, they want to eat these foods. Younger people also eat these foods, and they're probably also dealing with the side effects. So I believe now that is affecting them, the elite, they want to get these foods out the way,
Yeah, and like you mentioned, they love to target the kids, and the kids especially. They will do brand deals with like Barbie or Minions and have these colorful cereals that are full of food dye, high in sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and a whole bunch of other additives, and push this on our kids because essentially it starts with our kids. If this is what our kids start eating, they're going to become used to this, and this will be their diet. This will be the stuff that they go out and seek. It might not be the Minion cereal, but it's going to be the next thing that is not going to be any better than the stuff that they're consuming at this point. It starts with what they're eating now. If they're being conditioned to eat this stuff now, this is most likely the stuff that they're going to continue to eat. And then this ends up causing problems for us in the long run. Like you said, we end up getting sick, having to be on a whole bunch of medication. That's exactly what they want, is to decrease our lifespan.
That's a very good point, D. Specifically what you mentioned, the children. I feel like they're shaping the world that's coming next. You see how they're preparing these lab-grown chicken, lab-grown steak, all these fake foods that they're going to be feeding the future generations. What better way to do it than to condition the young kids that are coming up? Give them all these fake artificial foods since young and advertise it to them with characters that they like and colors that they like so that they can build a tolerancy and accept this. So when you try to feed them fake food in the future, they have no issues. They've been consuming it their whole lives. Me, where I come from in the Bronx, most people around where I live are eating the worst of the worst food. They're eating food from the chicken spot or grocery store food, or even the conventional fast food that's sold in McDonald's and Wendy's and restaurants like this. These people are consuming this food on a regular basis. And I myself personally saw how many people were affected by this. Me and my own family, I have so much family members that passed away due to health conditions tied directly back to the food they were eating. Even my mother has diabetes and she's a pretty healthy woman. She only eats vegetables. She stays away from sweets and stays away from carbs. But still, because of how much additives were in her food growing up, she's developed these health conditions. And my mom's not overweight. My mom's not obese. None of this. My mom is actually the average weight. But the problem is the foods that she's been consuming throughout her life. This is exactly what they've been doing. It might cost more to eat healthy, but it's worth it. Back to the California point, I don't think that this law is going to be passed in the rest of the country. I think that this is only going to be in California because of the simple fact, like I said, that's their people. And even then, there's still several additives that are not even banned yet and are just as bad or worse. So we can take it as a small W, but also at the end of the day, it's still a small solution for a much bigger problem,
And you know what's sad is that other countries have been doing this. This has been going on in Japan, Canada, China, and we're just now hopping on this. And it's not even us as a country. It's only happening in California.
Yeah, and it's not even a ban of most of the additives that are truly bad. There's still so many additives that are severely bad for people and that are being sold in every single store that you go to. Eating out itself, if you eat at any fast food restaurants, you're consuming the vegetable oils and the additives and all the hazardous additives. I avoid every single fast food restaurant. You won't catch me in one of them because I know it's a trap created by these people that run our world. Just look at the investor list. BlackRock is invested in most of these companies. You think that's a coincidence? No. The elite are the members of BlackRock. These people are the same people invested in record labels, invested in fast food, invested in supermarket distributors, invested in all of these companies. And you think it's a coincidence that they're all selling the poison that's destroying us? No. But that's it for this episode. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you guys have a great day.